The time has come, my Minecraft friends, to fulfill a promise I made to you a few episodes ago to create a slime farm. Welcome back to Gwent Land, where last episode we made this footpath you see me walking on right now, and in between episodes, if we look in my inventory, you can see that I've been to the Nether to gather some resources for today's slime farm build. You may recall in episode 3, while making our mob grinder, we came across a slime chunk. So today I think is as good a day as any to get working on that slime farm, because I need some slime blocks for some future builds I have planned. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you a few little mini farms that you can use in your own worlds towards the end of this episode. There's always something I've forgotten. This time it's my hoppers. There we go. Now, I don't know whether to be happy or sad about this, but that slime that we found last episode was actually part of a double chunk. So, we now have a double chunk slime farm, which, great, I'm going to get much more slime spawning, but it does mean I have a lot more blocks to dig out, and I don't have a beacon. So, this is going to be one hell of a grind. Let's get to it. I'm not apprehensive at all. We actually got a little bit lucky there because we came across a cave system halfway through our slime chunk, so that was quite nice. I thought I'd show you our diamond haul. We managed to pick up 15 diamonds from those few diamonds we uncovered just then, and also a bunch of other resources. I've picked up the water that was in the middle of the slime chunk, and this isn't it, because we actually now need to dig down. So I've dug 4 blocks extra each side of the 2 slime chunks that are currently in the middle of this big open space, and we need to dig them down to this level. So 4 blocks either side of this farm need to go down to level 5, and then the actual spawning pads are going to start at level 7. So yeah, we got a bunch more digging to do. Let's get to it. So 2 hours and 1 pickaxe later, and a whole bunch of digging, and we have the bare bones of our slime farm complete. Now, we do still have the waterways and the killing method to install, plus the item delivery system, which we're going to get to a little bit later on. And quite worryingly, I haven't seen a single slime spawn yet. So, fingers crossed I've got my coordinates right and I've built this in the right area, because otherwise, oh, that's going to be heartbreaking. So now we're going to move on to some micro farms that hopefully will help you and will definitely help us with some of the projects I've got lined up for next episode. So we're going to jump over to those now, and then we'll be right back to complete this after we finish with those. Okay guys, so we're over here on my redstone testing world and also my build testing world. And I thought I'd come over here to show you the design I'm going to be using for this micro farm, so I can build it in front of you. It's just a little bit easier to show off in creative mode, so I thought I'd show you this way. So this is the farm itself. It took about an hour and a half to make this. The closest farm I could find to it was one by Silent Whisper, but this is a little bit better than that because the drop rates are better, plus it's a little bit more compact. As you can see, this just has a 3 wide by 3 deep footprint, and it's 5 blocks tall, so it is really micro. To be honest, I'm a little bit upset. I originally had this 2 blocks wide by 5 blocks tall, but it just didn't work right. The timings weren't right on survival servers and things like that, so it got a little bit laggy, so I had to add in an extra block, so I've made it 3 by 3. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that, but it's the best I could do. Having said that, this is the best one I've found as compact as this on YouTube anyway. So there are designs that are more compact, but they're less server friendly in my opinion. This one is going to work on any server, on any world. It's completely customizable, and you'll get about 10,000 drops an hour. So it's a really good design. I'm going to get into making it now. I'm going to do it in front of you so you can build along with me. I'm also going to create a tutorial for this, probably right next to this one later on, so you can come back and watch it if you need to. We're going to start off by placing our sticky piston right there. We're then going to place a building block on this corner here with a redstone torch on that side there, so it should make your sticky piston extend like this. We're going to place some dirt on top of that. We're going to place redstone dust in these 3 corners there, and we're going to be placing redstone repeaters just like this around the piston. So you should have a clock that looks something like that. Now go ahead and set this repeater to 2 ticks and this repeater to 2 ticks. This is the best optimized setting I have found so far. This is the setting that will give you 10,000 drops per hour. If in your world it's too fast or too slow, you can actually speed this up just by changing the timings on these repeaters. I'm just going to toggle this off a second while we're building so that it's not quite as loud. Next, we're going to need some stair blocks, and we're going to place those on top of this repeater here. You're going to need another block now right there, and one more there. And we're also going to sort of block this in now just like this. Then we're going to get actually, don't place that block there. Then we're going to get our dispensers. We're going to place one there, and one there, all facing into the grass block or the dirt block, and the same again on top of those dispensers. We're going to place in our water now because it's not going to leak out anyway. Be careful when you're doing that, you don't want to destroy all your redstone. Then we're going to get our building blocks again. We're going to place one there. We're going to place an observer looking downwards right there, and an observer facing into the previous observer right there. Trying to say observer twice in a row is quite difficult. I don't know if you've ever tried it. There you go. So that's our clock done. And really that is the build. All you need to do to add in just one switch to operate both of these is to come out a block. I like to place it like here so you can actually box it in quite nicely. So we can put a lever there with a torch on the back, block here with redstone running down like this, And then you can also do a block here with redstone running up like that, and that's not going to affect the actual farm. If you build this too close, it can have an impact on the farm. So now if I take that one off and take this one off and toggle this switch, you'll see that the dispensers are firing and this grass block is being elevated and de-elevated. Is that the word? All we need to do now is till this soil. There we go. So that's it, and then all you need to do is build a stand and box this in, and you're good to go. There we go. So I'm going to jump back over to Gwent Land now and show you this in action. Okay, so we're back on Gwent Land now, and this is the farm. I've already set it up, so we're good to go. And I'm going to give you a demonstration of just how effective this farm is. Like I said, I found one which was almost as good as this, but not as good as this. So I'm actually really proud of this. If you think it will help you out in your worlds, go down and leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. I did spend a fair bit of time perfecting this design. It took me a few attempts. So I really would appreciate the love, because I think this is actually a really good little micro farm. And yeah, so let's test it out. As you can see, every time I'm placing the potatoes, they're growing before the piston raises the block, which means that no bone meal is going to waste, which is another great thing about this farm. It's so efficient and it's really simple to build. So right there, we've literally got another stack within, I think, probably about 15 to 20 seconds. I don't think you're going to beat that anyway, really. Like I said, there are some faster designs, but they're actually not server friendly. They're so quick that servers can't keep up. Your world will lag and it just won't work. So they might be okay in test worlds and in creative and in specific settings, but they won't be as efficient as this, I can guarantee. Anyway, that's enough of blowing my own trumpet about my little micro farm, which I'm obviously really pleased with. I think it's about time we get back to building that slime farm. What do you think? Oh my god, look. I am so happy. Do you know what? I was just about to start filming and saying, do you know what? I'm not sure this farm's going to work. I think we might have put it in the wrong place, or I think we might have to dig all the way up to the sky. But look, there's a slime. I can't believe it. Do you know what? I went through loads of caves. It took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours just to light up all the caves around here. I switched out all the torches for jack-o'-lanterns, and I even made a little spot down here to AFK to see if I could see any slime spawning. And this is the first one I've seen in like 3 hours. So I can say with absolute certainty this farm will work. However, what I will say is, until we dig up to the sky, it's not going to be very efficient at all, because this is the first slime I've actually seen spawn here. And we haven't got a killing method in place yet, so we're going to have to kill it by hand, the old-fashioned way. But we do have a looting sword, so that should really help. Oh my gosh, guys, you have no idea. My heart was broken. I swear on my life, I was about to come on camera and be like, guys, I'm really upset. I've spent all this time digging out this massive hole, and it's all for nothing. So that's made me feel so much better. Ah. Also, though, I don't know what I'm going to say now, because I had this whole thing planned that I was going to say about, oh, I don't know what we're going to do. I've looked at videos. I'm going to have to dig to the surface. But it works. so that's good. That means we can actually carry on with the killing method, which I was going to just sort of toss out the window. But yeah, so I'm going to get some water channels going and place down our killing system and also our item delivery system. I'm going to do it on camera. I haven't actually worked out how I'm going to do this yet, because I haven't figured out the dimensions or anything. It's all going to be ad hoc. Okay, so in each of the corners we're going to be placing some magma blocks. Just like that. I think we're going to try and place these all the way along, actually. So yeah, I'm going to place these, I'm guessing 8 blocks. It kind of makes sense because that's how far the water goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just like that. Now I'm actually going to place a row of ice here, and you'll see why in just a second. And now we're going to place some more magma blocks, just like this. And then just to get the measurements right, we're going to come over to this corner and do the same thing. The reason we've got these packed ice blocks is because... Oh, and typically I've forgotten them. 1 second. Okay, take 2. The reason we've got this packed ice is because we're going to be placing down some pressure plates on the packed ice to stop the water flow in certain places, which is going to help us determine where the slimes actually go, because we want them to go to the quickest place to collect their drops. So we don't want to send slimes that spawn over here onto here and all the way down to the bottom to collect their things. We're actually going to collect all of the loot in the 4 corners, and then we're going to send it behind the walls to a collection station down the front there. So yeah, so this is what I'm doing, and then cross your fingers because this is the moment of truth. And actually I do think I should probably do this over here to start with, so in these blocks here. So we're going to place a water bucket there and a water bucket there, which means if any slimes fall anywhere here, they're going to get pushed. Oh, well that didn't work out the way I wanted it actually. Where am I being pushed? Forward? I don't want that. Okay, 1 minute. Is it me, or does the water in this game act really bizarrely? Obviously I'm used to a different version of Minecraft, but I feel like water should really be universal, right? But it's just so not. Even I remember when I was making the mob grinders, the mobs just weren't moving the way I was used to them moving. It's so much more difficult. Also, I placed down some water blocks on these lava blocks right here, magma blocks right here, and then I couldn't pick it back up. What is up with this game? Okay, because I'm struggling with the water, I'm going to actually set this all up off camera, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I've done afterwards, because it's going to be a lot of playing about, I feel. Okay, so I've had to change things up a little bit. So what I've decided to do is push the slimes and their drops basically along the back wall here and all the way down to the front. And we're going to collect the items in the front 2 corners. And then I think we're just going to sort of bring them together here. And either I can send them up or I can just collect them from down here. Either way, I don't really mind. I've got to say, this is probably the first time playing Bedrock Edition that I actually feel the difference between Bedrock and Java, because for the most part it's really similar. But building this slime farm is really eye-opening on some of the things that Bedrock have got wrong, basically, because I'm sure anyone who plays Java Edition normally wouldn't typically convert to playing Bedrock like I have, because I think the features on Java Edition are better tuned and they just work better. Even the things that don't work actually add to the game. But I honestly think the way that the water sources work and the way that the slime spawn is quite terrible. Anyway, so water streams are done. Now I've got to do the collection systems. So what we're going to do is dig away some blocks here just so I've got some room to work with. On these 2 blocks here, we're actually going to put a chest, and this allows the items to actually come past the block, because the chest's hitbox, I believe, if it's anything like Java Edition, I pray it is, because otherwise this won't work, is not quite as big as a full block. Fingers crossed, who knows? I don't know, I can see the hitbox now and I'm thinking, oh, that is actually quite big. Well, hopefully there's a little gap down this. Yes, there is, I can see this. Can you see that? There's just literally like a pixel gap. And I'm hoping that's going to be enough for our items to fall down through and into a... Well, it's going to be into a dispenser eventually, but I'm going to put it into a chest for now. So these 2 hoppers should hopefully pick up any slimes that drop and place them in this chest. And I'll come back and do the collection system once I've done all 4 corners. I was about to go and build this, but then realised that you guys may actually want to see it, so I've decided to build it on camera for you. It's only a really simple redstone circuit, so yeah, I'll just build it in front of you so you can see how I do it. Probably as simple as it gets, to be honest. So I've replaced the chest that was here with this hopper. I'm going to put that hopper into this dispenser, and then we need to make a little circuit so that when an item goes into this dispenser, it knows to dispense it straight away. And if you've ever made a chicken farm, you'll know this circuit. So if you just copy what I'm doing, you should be fine. The reason we need a repeater after this comparator is because this comparator is going to look in this dispenser and see if it's got a block. If it's got one block, it will only put out a certain strength of signal, which won't actually get around the rest of this circuit. So by putting a repeater straight after it, we negate the impact of only having one block in there. So it will still, even if there's only one block in this dispenser, it will still dispense it. All we're going to do is put a block. Yeah, now I'm not sure if this will work with packed ice actually, so this is going to be trial and error for me. But we can always change that for something different if we need to. And we're just going to run some redstone down the side of this circuit right here. And we're going to put a repeater into this block here. This repeater into this block is what's going to power the dispenser to actually dispense this item. And then another redstone line that goes back into this comparator, which creates sort of a clock mechanism. So if I put some items in here now, we should see that they get spat back out. There we go, just like that. And then if I take them all out, it should stop. And the reason this is better than just a normal clock system is because it actually turns off, so when it's not being used, it's not lagging out your server or your world because, well, there's no redstone ticking. Now I'm just going to put in some waterway so that once this dispenses, it's going to get taken down to a collection area that we're going to have in the center here. And I'll show you the other side where I'm going to do a slightly different circuit just so you guys can see two different circuits and you can decide which one you want to use. The thing is, this one takes up a 3x3 area, whereas the other one I'm going to show you is going to take up, I think, is a 2x4. So it depends on the space you're working with. You may decide the one design is better than the other. Okay, so for this design, we're going to put a dispenser here, just like the last one, with a hopper going into it. Just like that. Then we're going to take a block with a comparator coming out of that block, and this comparator you need to place on subtract mode. We need a block here, a piece of redstone dust there, a block here, a repeater if I can place it, a repeater there, piece of redstone, and a repeater there into a block which will power the dispenser. So fingers crossed, let's put some in here, let's check it out. Yeah, there we go, easy peasy. Okay, that's enough. There we go. So I'm just gonna fill this in now so no mobs spawn in here, and over here too, and then we can fill this in as well. Okay, and let's get our packed ice. You might be able to tell, but I am struggling right now. I've pulled basically an all-nighter tonight, so this is, yeah, we're getting on to, well, we're past early hours of the morning at this stage. Now, this could cause an issue. Looking at it now, I think, yeah, that might be a problem. I'll come back and see. We'll check if it's working. If it works, then I won't come back and look at it. But I'm a little bit worried by that, actually. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the chest, because obviously, like I said earlier, the chests are about a pixel less than a full block, which allows items to get into that pixel and drop into these hoppers. We could have items get stuck here. Mind you, having said that, they're on top of a hopper, so if they do get stuck there, the hopper's just going to suck them back up and put them back into here anyway, so actually, yeah, we'll live with that. Well, there we have it, one completed slime farm. Oh my gosh, guys, this was really difficult. Honestly, this was probably one of the hardest episodes I've ever recorded, just because it was so up and down. So much happened. So we found out it was a double slime chunk. Woohoo, fantastic. Then we had to dig it out. Not so good. Then when we did dig it out, no slimes were spawning. Oh dear. Then I crafted my amazing bow into a dispenser. Oh my gosh. But then I came back down here to finish this off, and as if by magic, a slime had actually spawned here, so that was a massive relief. Oh, I don't think I can cope with any more of this. Now, I did have plans to make one more small farm with you guys, but I've run out of time, as I'm sure you can imagine, digging all this out in one night, doing all this in one night, and going away and working on a farm design all in one night, and you can probably tell by my voice, I need to get to bed. But I do have one last little treat for you all. So obviously, throughout this episode, I've been on ups, I've been on downs, and during those down moments, I did record some clips just out of pure anger, which obviously I didn't include in the main video because you haven't seen them, but I do think they are, in hindsight, they are funny, so I'm going to put them at the end as some outtakes for you, so enjoy those. But anyway, I haven't enjoyed this episode, but I hope you have. Have a good day. I'm Gwent Gamer. Goodbye. Guys, something awful has happened. Absolutely dreadful. It was so bad, actually, that when it happened, I rage quit. I rage quit because I was infuriated. So I was crafting up some materials to build this micro farm I'm about to show you, which, by the way, is amazing. This micro farm that you're about to see built in front of your very eyes is probably one of the best micro farms I've ever built. It's super compact, and for the resources it uses, I don't think there's anything else as good. But anyway, back to my devastation. I have crafted up some dispensers, and in this game, you may know or you may not know, when you auto-craft a dispenser, it can use, on occasions, your enchanted bows. So I had my super bow on me, which was one-shotting anything that got in my way, and now it's in one of these dispensers. I'm heartbroken. Now, it doesn't matter how good any micro farm is, it's not going to get me over the fact I have lost a super bow today. Let's all bow our heads for just a moment to remember the awesomeness of the super bow. Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, I can hear you bouncing already, but why aren't you bouncing in my bloody farm? Get to the... Bounce in my farm, not in a random cave that I need to light up, obviously. Guys, this is too much. This is too much. No, I'm not having it. I'm going. Go and leave a like and subscribe. I must have asked for about 10 likes this episode, but I need them. Pity me. Feel for me. This has been a tough experience for us all, but more so for me.